Evening, everybody. Lockdown Friday, day 22. Really sad day today, and things sort of hit home in the bang because we lost Norman Hunter, the Leeds United England footballing legend, actually, to this COVID-19 stuff, and a huge loss. For everybody, and I think, I never saw Norman play in the flesh. He'd sort of just finished playing for Leeds when I started watching him in '77. I started watching him, and I never saw him play in the flesh. But what a fantastic player, and I throw back really to when footballers were more men. I mean, let's be honest, some of these guys these days are just an embarrassment with the acting and diving and all this sort of play acting and all this nonsense. We're talking about here a man, a real man, a proper footballer, a good footballer. He played nearly 800 games for Leeds, and after he left Leeds, another 150 games for Bristol and Barnsley, I think. So they don't make them like that anymore, and I've got to say, absolutely knocked me for six today, because during the time I've been doing sort of corporate at Leeds for the last 13, 14 years, whatever it is, I got to know Norman reasonably well, as did a lot of people there. But he came in our box with his wife before, and what a man, fabulous fella. Had time for everybody, great stories. When his hearing aid was turned up, bless him. But absolute privilege to know him, and in a way I'm glad I've known him more as a man than perhaps the footballer, really, because just a great person. So tonight's really, the poem I've done tonight is a tribute to Norman. I will move on tomorrow night with some more of my usual nonsense, and Sunday might be the last one because we're sort of going back to work, I think, maybe this next week or so. Anyway, this is this is my tribute poem to Norman. Here we go. With the sad news received, my heart truly bleeds, about a boy born in Gateshead and a man made in Leeds, a key part in a dynasty of which Don Revie was the boss. To all the Leeds faithful, his passing is such a loss. Bites your legs, Hunter, a centre-forward slayer, dashing and handsome, my mum's favourite player. A player with such grace and poise, the true real deal, a wand of a left foot and a body of steel. 726 games played, 100% always given. A heart like a lion, so passionate and driven. Don always said, Norman, with the refs, the first foul's always free. He didn't disappoint, and delivered that with glee. An England player also, the caps totted up. He was part of the squad which won the World Cup. Not many men can say that, but I'm sure many would boast. But Norman was grounded, much more humble than most. After his playing days finished, and he'd hung up his boots, and a few spells in management, he returned to his roots. Radio co-commentator, summarising expert were his deeds, and took up residency as a legend at his football love, Leeds. Pre-match analysis at every home game, in a banqueting suite that was adorned with his name. Honest and forthright, opinions forthcoming, and delivered that with passion that a centre-forward's running. So much time for every fan, lots of stories to share. For the post-game debates, he'd always be there. A gentleman, a legend, from a time when footballers were men. And I'm afraid that we won't see his like, probably ever again. He told me he feared Leeds wouldn't get promoted in his lifetime. Now that's turned out to be true, and that's such a terrible crime. A father, a husband, grandfather and friend. Norman Hunter will miss you. A real fighter, right to the end. Rest in peace, Norman. Cheers, guys.